Factor Uncensored, there are new concerns about this new generation of children called Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha, that's the new term. Many of them being called, unfortunately, illiterate, because experts say they'd rather pick up an iPad instead of a book. According to a report, about half of Texas children read below their grade level. We have a panel of parents here to join us to discuss it. Bianca Matlock and Angela Vidal. First of all, guys, have you all seen any problems with your children who may be in this age group?
Most definitely. Attention span. Making sure that they stay focused, making sure that they get their chores done first or homework done first. The screen seems to be addictive for my kids, so I control that.
When you say chores and homework, that's any badass kid. So I'm looking for something that would stand out with what we're talking about, maybe not up to par with their reading skills and math skills, where they should be a little bit higher.
No, thankfully my kids are mastering their STAR tests. They're at grade level in terms of reading and writing. It's just really more so attention.
Attention. And so when you talk to them, are they getting it? Do you say, look, do this, do that? Where do they stand with that?
Sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. And if they don't, I'll have to redirect, or I control the Wi-Fi. I can cut the Wi-Fi off. That usually gets their attention. But it's a lot of redirection.
All right, Angela, your thoughts on this?
I think that, you know, personally, I haven't had an issue where I would say that academically, you know, mine are thriving academically. However, I will say that you know, I do notice that I see a lot of children like on their phones or like with earphones on, or, you know, little AirPods in their ears. And I do think that that does take away from like the social aspect of things. And I think that that's where they can come off to be a little less intelligent, because they're not properly communicating with people, because they're isolating themselves behind an iPad or behind
socially awkward.
Yeah,
and we see a lot of that with kids. And I recently saw a documentary where it was called iPad Kids, where if your kid was raised on an iPad, they just don't know how to deal with the real world and other individuals. It becomes so extreme where they're cold, they're unfeeling.
Absolutely.
They don't know how to deal with the average person. Is that a fear for parents like you guys out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I personally control. Like I allow my kids to have headphones on if they're on their laptop and they're doing something, but I don't let my kids just walk around with headphones on or just be out of tune. Like, they need to be able to be social when they're in a social environment with people, and not like remove themselves, you know, because I think that's where that awkwardness can easily be interpreted for, like, what's wrong with you? Or are you just not that bright, or are you just not talkative, you know? That is a little scary, you know, to see that this kind of is happening in our society. But it is, like I said, it is important that as parents time the children and set very specific boundaries.
And Bianca, how are you setting those boundaries for your children to make sure they don't become the individuals we hear about, the iPad kids who were raised and born in the year of the iPad, and that's all they know? So how are you making sure your kids have the ability to be socially, or, as they say, a social butterfly, not a butterfly, but, you know, just regular?
Right. No, sometimes it's just as simple as kicking them out of the house, making them go outside, making them play with their friends, making sure that they go to social things, you know, making sure they're active in school. So that way they're not stuck behind a screen, always looking at the internet or looking at TikTok. They can have communication skills when they get older. So that's what I try to do.
And do you guys blame parents who say, look, I got them quiet in the corner, they're on their iPad, let me do my thing while they're on that iPad? Some parents.
I think that there's an age limit for that, right? I think that once you have children that are in the preteens and the teens, I personally don't think that you need to isolate them with a device. I personally think that it's important that those children do start to socialize and understand, you know, how important it is to be able to hold a conversation. I mean, it doesn't matter what day and age that we live in. Social skills will even predetermine how successful you can be, which is, doesn't matter how smart you are, if you don't have the right social skills, you may not be able to close that deal.
All right. Mothers, thank you.